What's up, guys? We are in Orlando, day 2 of the International Builders Show, and we are at the Westlake Royal Building Products booth, previously Royal Building Products. A couple years ago when we were at this show, we actually sat down with Steve here on the Modern Craftsman podcast, and we had talked about things like Zuri decking and things like that, but now you guys have acquired more businesses. So first off, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Yeah. What's going on in the world? And first, why Westlake?
Well, Westlake is our parent company. And so as we try to grow as a company and they want to be more involved in the building materials space, we wanted to elevate the Westlake name. It's a Fortune 500 company. And so
Westlake has always existed. Royal Building Products was kind of a sub-company below that?
Correct.
And now they've basically rose to the occasion.
We're elevating it, and they're going to have some big announcements actually in a couple of weeks for Westlake as a Fortune 500 company.
More than what we're seeing here?
More than what we're seeing here.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that?
No.
So let's talk about so you guys rebranded, but you guys have acquired a lot of different companies, one being Boral. Yep. And the Truexterior, which is something that we use a lot, but there's other products that I'm not familiar with, so why don't we walk through that?
Sure. Well, actually it started in 2019 with Da Vinci Roofscapes that we acquired.
Which is a synthetic slate? Which is
a synthetic slate and shake type of a product.
Cedar shake?
Cedar shake look, yeah,
All
exactly.
Okay.
So great looking products, really easy to install, nice high-end usage there. And then this year we acquired the Boral North America building products, which include trim products, siding, stone, roofing, outdoor living types of products. So we've organized all of that into a couple of groups. So we have our siding solutions, our trim solutions, roofing, stone, window solutions.
That's what we were talking off camera, is like everything is bucketed into the different solutions.
Correct, but at the same time we've left the product brands in place. So if you use Truexterior, Truexterior is not going away, it stays.
It's still Truexterior.
It's still Truexterior, nothing changes with that. It's only going to get better. We're launching some new products here today, which we'll take you through.
So what, overall, what is that? Why? Why the acquisition? Why brand everything under Westlake? What's the benefit? Obviously there's benefit to you guys as a business, but for us as a consumer, as a builder, even as a homeowner.
We want to bring you all the solutions that you need under one roof. So if you're comfortable with us as a company on Truexterior and you're looking for low maintenance trim and molding products, we've got that too. If you want a great stone look on a particular project, we've got that for you as well. You need roofing, we've got roofing. One-stop shop. Once you have confidence in us,
sure,
it spreads over everything.
So let's walk through the booth. Show me what you got going on.
That'd be great, thanks.
Cool. So Select Siding, let's start here.
Yeah.
This is a PVC product?
This is a cellular PVC product that has a great Kynar coating to it. Primarily a lap siding product, but in the last couple of years we've introduced a shake look, a board and batten.
So this is installing like a lap?
Installs like a lap, yep.
Right.
This is a 4-foot shake product, goes up like a lap, locks together beautifully, you got it. It's that
like
easy.
That.
It's a real solid product. It's done great down here in Florida and hurricane type areas because it just locks together so strong and stays on the wall.
So for me, when I look at products like this, I always consider what bucket is this trying to compete with? What other products is it trying to go up against? And when you think PVC, it's like, oh, it's vinyl siding.
Yeah.
And this is not vinyl siding, nor
is not vinyl siding.
Nor is it really competing with the vinyl siding.
It's not. It's a little higher price point. It's really competing against that high-end wood type of product. Somebody wants a board-like feel. It's solid. It's going to keep its beauty. It's all about beauty, performance, and durability,
sure,
right? For the homeowner. They don't want maintenance.
Right.
And this is a long-lasting painted finish that's going to last. We have a 15-year warranty on it, but it's going to last even longer than that.
Yeah. And when it comes to limitations of products, because that's the other thing I look at where, for instance here, you're probably limited to adjusting your core sizing, is that right?
You are.
Yeah.
So if you're in an old house, it's a little out of square, any house is square.
Yeah.
You do have some limitations, but we have built in a little bit that you could fudge
sure,
it here and there to get up the wall.
That's good.
One of the cool features of this is actually the trim goes on top of it second, so you can use your trim features to hide a little bit of that edge if you need to make.
So when it comes to actually, if obviously not a lot of my trim goes like that, but let's pretend, is this getting installed tight? I know we're getting to the technical.
No, it's not. You're going to leave a gap. So depending on the length of your run, you might leave up to an inch, which is why we've got a little bit wider board here.
So you're always going to have your trim over top of the siding, which is important to know. When it comes to like in comparison to wood, you're going to be more flush or butt tight. This is going to be the difference in it. But like you said, the benefit of it is the long-lasting.
It is
finish.
sometimes a give and take, right?
No, totally. Yeah, of course.
So you give up a little bit of that true butt look that you get with wood, but you get all the beauty and performance characteristics.
And you talk about there is a higher price point from a cost comparison, and I know cost is all over the place nowadays. Sure. But are we in the family of wood, or is it going to be more expensive than wood?
You're in the family of good wood. Yeah. You should be able to put this from a material perspective, $3-4 a square foot.
Okay. And as far as install, it's if anything, it's probably easier than wood because
it's lightweight.
Yeah, you're
goes up super easy. It locks together. Once you get that first course level, as long as your house is level,
every house is not level.
it's going to just lock in place, and you're just going to be able to go.
Cool. And these all our colors here?
These are our colors here. Yep.
What if I did want to get a custom color? Is it possible?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Actually, since we talked to you last, we launched a product called Select Canvas.
Okay.
And that is an unpainted product, but you can paint it any color you want. Great for markets here like Florida, where somebody wants a pastel color, which may not be a wide enough market for us to offer it, but the homeowner
I think about
can paint whatever they want.
There's HOAs that dictate what color the house can be, and it's like, well, they don't match that. So when you say it's unpainted, what are you top coating with?
Any vinyl safe type paint. Sherwin-Williams does a great job with their vinyl safe technology, which helps reduce heat build. And so it's anything you want there.
Very good. Well, let's keep walking.
Perfect.
I got my cable. What do we have next?
Let's head over.
Zuri?
Do you want to do Zuri again?
Yeah, we can touch on it.
Yep.
So this is the product that we talked about last time, is the decking product. Yep. What has changed since we were here last?
We did add a new color, hickory, which is a nice dark brown, which is not in this display. But
added a color,
but it is on the floor over there. No, it's in the deck over there. We can shoot a B-roll, right? So Zuri continues to be our high-end decking product that we are headed to the market with. And really, it's all about a hardwood floor type look for your outside deck. And so it's bringing that inside feature to your outdoor living space.
Sure. And this one, I'm going to ask the question, know the answer. You can't customize the color on this, is that right?
Correct, yeah. Zuri comes in our 6 standard colors. And it is what it is. With our tri-layer technology, that printed foil, which is in between the sandwich, is under a protective layer. So it would be, you can't restain or paint the Zuri product underneath that.
And I haven't personally used it, but I know Tyler, who is one of our partners on the Modern Craftsman, he's done a few of these decks as well. They're beautiful. I've seen the install process. They go together really nice. But I think what you said is being able to bring the indoors when you have like hardwood or something like that to the outdoors is nice. You have that foil face you're talking about.
That's right.
But it's also, you don't get that repeating pattern.
You don't get a repeating pattern at all. No,
I think we talked about this on the podcast, but I'm going to ask again, how is that achieved?
Yeah, so we actually, when we print the foil, it's in a really wide web, and so we end up slicing it down into each of the pieces. And so as you're putting them down, there's 5 or 6 different patterns that can go. So it will repeat eventually, but you'll never see it on your.
Because I've seen bad products repeat, and I've seen deck boards specifically where every board is the same. And I remember early in my career is I was trying to offset them enough so you wouldn't notice, only to realize that my offset was matching the offset that they were printed at.
Exactly.
So
I want to introduce you to Ben. He's one of our experts on the Truexterior product, and we'll let him take you from here.
Very good. We are super familiar with Truexterior. Mm-hmm. We work with Keith over at Duration Molding Millwork. He's a great sponsor to our podcast. We use this product on a regular basis. It's what we prefer to use over, say, a PVC trim for the benefits that this has. But let's talk about the clapboard siding first, because I know it's the most authentic looking clapboard that is not wood, but why don't you walk through it? I'll let you do the talking. Okay. You know the product. Give me the spiel on that.
Excellent. So what we've done here is we've created your traditional look. So you don't really get that anymore. So that's a traditional cedar with the 5/8 butt joint here. It gives you that deep shadow line. But the true innovation on this product is what's inside. It's the polyash material. So that polyash, just giving it the dimensional stability that's unlike anything else, the ability to touch the ground. There's no water moisture wicking up into that. It's right on top of your masonry work. it cuts installs just like wood, actually even better. Because if you're using certain fasteners, you can go right to the edge, you don't have to worry about that board to split.
That was the craziest thing. I saw a demo one day, and he took a nail and he drove it by hand right here.
Right there, right on the edge.
And which is great because, this is great. You don't see any nails, but in a more traditional home, you might see a nail every 16 inches that they were driving that siding into a stud.
Right.
You can pull that off with this.
Yes, absolutely you can. And then much easier for the contractor too, you don't have to seal your end cuts. So on a lot of other boards, you have to take that little extra step to do that. Now you can just
Even
put
with
it
wood.
Right up. Even with wood you have to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of advantages.
Especially with wood.
Yeah.
The direct ground contact is something that, there's always the code that tells you got to keep everything up above ground. But I think it's an important topic to speak about because oftentimes mulch beds get built up and you do end up touching, and the fact that product won't wick moisture or get damaged over time is great, but even more importantly, it's when you're up on the roof line.
Exactly.
So a lot of times, I remember installing siding on a roof line. You take a one by board, stick it on the roof, and bring your siding down tight.
Yep.
You can run this directly down onto the roof.
Yes. Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that rotting or it just will last forever. That's what really separates it from the rest of the competition.
So the acquisition for Westlake with Roy. Cut that. The acquisition for Westlake, getting Boral products.
Yes.
Now that means duration. My partner over there, Keith, you guys are supplying him with this material, and he's continuing to be able to manufacture this beyond. Well, he's actually the one manufacturing the clap at this point. Is that right?
No, we manufacture this, but he does a lot of different profiles for us. So this is coming back. Yeah.
All right. So this is interesting because a few years ago, Boral had stopped production on clapboard.
Well, we actually had a bevel siding, so it was a little different than this profile.
Okay, you got to walk me through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the bevel siding is what you see mostly with the lap siding, where you have a shorter, so it starts off thick, and then it comes down short to maybe a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
And this is actually going back to the true lap siding that you get with wood.
So this is not bevel.
This is not bevel. This is true lap.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the lap product, and he's doing the bevel.
He's doing the bevel.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's what I was getting at. Is that a few years ago, Boral had stopped making the bevel siding.
Correct.
And I remember the panic I had because we had a job that it was entirely spec'd out on, and I immediately called our vendor, and he had just enough. I was like, just drop it off. We're not even ready for it.
Right.
Just drop it off on the site. And then I was introduced to Keith and duration, and then started seeing the innovation behind what he has turned Truexterior trim into, which is completely customizable.
It is.
It's mind-blowing the amount of work they put out. I think they guarantee stuff in 2 days 2 weeks for custom profiles. But for him, what does that mean? What does this acquisition mean for him?
Well, that just means that he's still going to get the same great product that he's got before. A little bit extra partnership, working with a much bigger company. So hopefully we can continue to grow that side of the business. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you got the original lap siding, I'm going to call it.
Yes.
What other siding products do you have?
Okay. So over here, we want to step around the corner.
So you have two here.
Yeah. So this is 2 different products, but it's actually one together. So we have a
backside, front side,
front side.
Whatever,
yep.
whatever
So it's
way you look at it,
reversible. Yeah. So you can get the nickel gap look with a wood grain or a smooth, and then on the reverse side have your shiplap with wood grain or smooth.
So I got to ask a question.
Yes.
How many people install it with the wood grain?
With the wood grain, it's not as popular as the smooth.
It's not, and that's
really
not.
not.
This is where I battle with it. Not battle with it, but I always question. It's not wood, and I know we're trying to imitate wood. But even when we're imitating wood, typically if I'm painting it, I don't have that grain.
Right.
We're always flipping it to the smooth side.
True.
And I know that there's a use for it. I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just always curious that, when I see people install it, I've never seen wood side out.
It's
the grain
very
side
regionally specific where you would see that wood grain. Other than that,
and I'm
this
in Boston,
is the majority.
so,
So in Boston, you're smooth out there.
Everyone's
That's it.
smooth. It's like,
yes.
Yeah, we don't see the grain. And it's funny, I had recently, one of our guys did a small trim job for my Fernandez Builders, and he had the grain side out. And I was like, hey, just a standard for us.
Right.
Smooth side. He's like, all right, no problem, got it.
Absolutely.
But that's interesting. It's that it's regional.
Yeah, it really is.
Cool. Any other products that we should take a look at?
I'll take you over here real quick to the
cool.
smooth board. So focusing on Truexterior, what we were able to do here is utilize our trim to do a board and batten. So this is just
wide board.
This is wide board,
board.
small board. Yep. Absolutely. And this is really on trend right now. We're doing really well once we've launched that and put everything together.
This is the modern farmhouse.
This is it, right?
Yeah. This is your Truexterior trim profiles used in a board and batten manner.
Correct.
Which is, I think you just said, huge with the modern
right
farmhouse
now.
era.
Yeah. Yep. It's just exploding with that look. So, yeah, you can pretty much create any custom profile you want with this trim. This is,
especially with your partnership
and with duration. Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Guys, we're finishing up here at the Westlake Royal Building Products booth here at the International Builders Show Orlando 2022. We'll see you guys in the next episode.